Hey Gateway, this is Pastor Jason Crabtree, and welcome to Gateway Midweek. And so we're excited to connect with you this evening. And so I'm also excited because I think this is the first time that me and Pastor Jen have ever been on camera together.
I think so.
Have ever done anything. So why don't you just maybe introduce a little bit about who you are, what you do here at Gateway, and yeah, I think that would be good.
Yeah, so my name is Jen Folks, and I'm the children's pastor here at Gateway. And so I have the opportunity to work with kids who are birth through 6th grade and quite a variety of different kids. But I also get to work a lot with volunteers and also with parents. So I kind of get the best package of everything.
That's awesome. So I'm going to go a little bit off script here right away, which I know is probably going to freak Jen out. But I just want to say, here on camera publicly, you have done an amazing job over the last 8 or 9 months. Your team has done an amazing job between, going back. It's crazy to think that yes, we did go through a summer together, but the VBS in a box and all the video stuff that went on with that and getting that prepared, and that kind of launched us into every month doing boxes that go with the sermons and everything that's going on. So we stay connected with you as families and with kids. Every week your team puts together a Sunday school video that happens on YouTube and the church website every Sunday at
9:45 a.m.
9:45 a.m. And so it's just a way for you to connect with as families. Yeah. And so I don't know, how has that been going? I mean, that's probably grown you quite a bit.
Yeah, so never did I ever think I would have a job where I was on video a lot of weeks, but God has definitely opened that door. But it's been amazing. One of the greatest things I love about doing Kid Box and getting to do our weekly videos is getting to be a part of the life of families. So normally when we were on campus, parents would drop their kids off to kids ministry and they would go off to big church and we would do worship and stuff with their kids. And so one of the great things about our videos is that we get to do lessons with both kids and adults. And so parents get to watch and be a part of it with their kids. Yeah. Most of our activities involve both parents and their kids to do things together. And so it's been really fun to get to write curriculum that involves that, to get to come up with games and supplies and all that kind of stuff that really brings together parents and their families. Yeah, and so that's been an exciting thing. That's
awesome. And yeah, like I said, your team has done an amazing job under your leadership. And so maybe if you are hearing about this for the first time and thinking, hey, you know what, my family would love to be a part of that, would love to receive these boxes, let us know.
Definitely.
Let us know in the comments, contact us here at the church. We want to keep you all connected as much as we can. And we know, especially for many of you during the holidays, during the most recent changes to kids going back, are they not going back? There's all these uncertainties. And so I think it's very much needed to know that you have a church that supports you and that's going to provide you with resources that you can count on each and every month and each and every week. And so I just wanted to make sure we did that. And so
thanks.
We appreciate that. So we've been, the last couple of weeks, we've been doing the Advent Conspiracy. And so I wanted to quickly read Matthew 1, 18 through 21. And it says, the birth of the Messiah. It says, this is how Jesus the Messiah was born. His mother Mary was engaged to be married to Joseph. But before the marriage took place, while she was still a virgin, she became pregnant through the power of the Holy Spirit. Joseph, her fiancé, was a good man and did not want to disgrace her publicly, so he decided to break the engagement quietly. As he considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream. Joseph, son of David, the angel said, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for the child within her was conceived by the Holy Spirit, and she will have a son, and you are to name him Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. And that is the story of Christ. That's how he came to this earth, to be in a relationship with us. And we remember these things. We are prepared through these things by what we call Advent. And we look at these different aspects on preparing our hearts for the coming King. And so, like I said, we've been doing this book called The Advent Conspiracy. And so I highly recommend, if you can, to get out and get this book. It is just a way to really help refocus on what this time of the year is about. See, Advent prepares us for the coming Christ. And it is so easy within that preparation, right, to make it about Christmas trees and gifts and parties and all of these other things that, consumerism that wrap up during this time of year. Good Christmas movies are coming out, and you can get caught up in all these family traditions that it's so easy to just forget about Christ and forget about why we celebrate what we do. And so a couple weeks ago, Pastor Mike and Maddie, one of our interns here, not even intern, she's I don't even know what her job title is. But she's a vital part of what we do. And so, but Mike and Maddie, which sounds like an 80s sitcom, I think, Mike and Maddie.
Mike and Maddie.
But they talked about worship fully, right? And it makes sense, right? When we think about Christ coming, when we think about, the newborn king, when we think about the reason for the season, right? Like these things that help us realize what this time is about, it seems the right step to take is to really worship fully, right? To really focus our hearts and our minds and with the spirit of thanksgiving and be thankful for Christ. Be thankful that God sent his son to forgive the sins of the world. So it seems logical to and easy to worship fully. And then last week, Pastor Lance talked a lot about talked about spending less. And again, we see the sacrifice that Christ made, right? That he sent his only son. And so it's easy to kind of see how it's how we can make that transition and make that and refocus really on the fact that it's not about spending more during this time of the year, but spending less. But this week we're going to connect that spending less with giving more. And so Jen, why don't you share a little bit about what that looks like and
So as we look at the Christmas season, it's easy to think about spending less, but then the part that goes with that is to give more. And so how do those two go together? And I think God gives us the perfect example of how to give more. And if you think about Christmas and you look at the big picture, what is Christmas all about? Christmas is all about the birth of Jesus. That's what we're celebrating. And Jesus is the gift that God gave. He didn't just give a little bit, but he gave more. He gave his son more than we could ever imagine. He gave the most precious gift and let that child come into this world. As we look at Scripture, especially when you look at the Old Testament, and you see how God helped lots of different people. He helped by providing food, he helped provide protection, he helped provide leadership through the kings, all these different things. But those were all material things that he gave. But after that, when he sent his only son, those things all faded away and he gave more. In the end, God didn't give material things, but he gave something relational. God gave us his son, which is the most priceless and personal gift. I want to share John 1:14, and it says, "The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and full of truth." God gave us his presence in the form of Jesus. Jesus was fully God and fully human, and he ultimately paid the price for our sins. And God continues to give us his presence. He continues to be in a relationship with us because of the gift that he gave through Jesus. So as we think about all of the different Christmas gifts that we're really celebrating Jesus' birth, then we should follow and want to follow the example of how God gave more. And the way that he did that was that he gave more through relationships. And so we want to make Christmas more about giving through relationships and giving love and less about buying gifts.
That's great. Yeah. So when you talk about, it's about relationships, right? When we talk about giving gifts, like giving more means giving thoughtfully. And what I mean by that is is as you're, preparing to give a gift to somebody, think about the relationship. Think about the person that you're giving the gift to, and why that person is special to you. Think about, the things that you're connected, like how are you connected? And that process, it means that you're going to have to listen more, that you're going to have to really learn more about that individual, and really the things that they love. What makes them them? What is some of the things that you love about them, right? And have that connection. Have those things as you process through that of giving thoughtfully. Have those things that you process that. Be the driving force behind what you're giving and how you're giving. Not to just go, oh, I love this person, and so I'm going to give them a $50 gift card or something like that, right? But to really take time to think and maybe even write a list, or sit and reflect, what is important, what is special about this relationship that I have with this individual? Maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a relative, maybe it's a real close friend. But really take time as you're giving more to be thinking about what makes our relationship work, what makes our relationship special, and how can I show my appreciation and help build into that relationship by giving something that's going to show how much that this relationship means to me. And so, giving more means giving thoughtfully.
Giving more also means giving relationally. Now, I'm a person, I love one-on-one relationships. And so getting to spend time with people, getting to have those one-on-one conversations and do things together, for me, that is the ultimate gift. And so as I think about giving more relationally, that comes really naturally to me. And so when I think about giving gifts, it's not just, like you said, not just a gift card, but how can I give them something that will allow us to spend more time together, to allow us to be relational. And so, like with my nieces and nephews, I love spending time with them. And so often our gift will be something that I'll give them, but it's something that we can do together, whether it's to go and do a class together, whether it's to go out and go roller skating together, whatever it is, but something so that we can build that relationship and make that relationship stronger. And one of the things that I do as I'm thinking about how can I give relationally is thinking about what are some of those memories that I have of people. Because often as you think back about Christmas gifts, the things that you got, the just specific items, those usually come and go and we don't remember those. But when you have an experience with someone, those are the things that memories are made of. And so thinking about how can I not just give them something, but give them an experience and create a memory together. Yeah. So giving more means giving relationally.
Yeah, and that's such an example of just Christ, right? I know for some of us it's like, well, I can't remember that scripture, or I can't remember that certain Hebrew or Greek word, but man, I can remember the experiences that I've had within my relationship with Christ. It makes it really, really important. Another way we can give more, it means that is good is giving of our time. Giving of our time. And I'll tell you what, there's something about setting time aside to show and to in preparation or to spend time with somebody that you love, and doing that as a gift. I love, my family, of course, things are all shut down right now, but we are a Disneyland family, right? And I can tell you more about the things that we've done while we've stood in line and waited, why we took those long car drives, and the Grapevine is shut down and you got to go through Tehachapi, and the first time my kids ever saw snow was in Mojave, right? All this because of just spending time with one another, right? And so that's another way that we can give is giving of time, like writing a card, making cookies, having friends and family that are far away, right? Like a gift. That you connect with that person, reminding them of the fun times that you guys spent with one another, the time that you spent with each other. And so giving more means sometimes giving of your time. I also think about how important it is to serve, right? Even just serving, giving of your time, making a sacrificial gift of going, I'm going to set apart this time and giving this time as a gift. It does something to your heart. again, it follows the example of Christ. I can think of many times in the Bible where Jesus spent special time with individuals, right? And he was there. And I think it's so important to, in addition to this spending time, is to be in the moment, right? It's to be in the moment, not to rush through things, not to just hurry up and get on to the next thing, but to stop and take a breath and be in the moment. Allow, the special moment of just being together, the time spent, the time serving, allowing that to just be a gift for you in the moment, be a gift for others in the moment. And so I think spending time and creating time for others is a great way that we can give more.
And I like what you said about how it's a gift to you, giving in the moment. And I think sometimes we forget that, we're giving to other people. We're thinking of gifts that we want to give them. But often when we take the focus off of the gift and focus on the relationship and focus on the time, that we're the ones that actually get more of the gift than what we gave. And so I think that happens a lot.
Good.
So as we think about all these different things, it may seem just a little bit overwhelming. You're looking at your Christmas list and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to give relationally and give time and give personally to all these different people that I have to buy Christmas for or do Christmas for? And so my recommendation and encouragement to you is start small. Maybe just this year, pick one person that you want to focus on and really give relationally and give time to and really give more to. And so maybe that might be the person that is on your list that's the hardest to buy for. That person that has everything and you can never think what they want to get. Well, those are all usually material things. And so take the time to really get to know them and to really think, how can I give them more? But start small and just pick one person.
Yeah. In the book, there was an example of a gift where two girls, their nana, our grandmother, lived far away, and so what they did is they put a mason jar together, and they wrote down 52 memories that they had of them and their grandmother, and so and when they gave the gift to Nana, they said, "Hey, Nana, every Monday for the next year, we want you to take out one of these papers from this mason jar and read about the memory, like read about the time that we spent together, read about that thing that really made a difference, that wasn't about a gift or wasn't about, what you bought us, but it was a memory and a special time that we shared individually with you or as a family." And so this grandmother, she just really looked forward to, for the whole year, every Monday, to open up that mason jar, take out, a piece of paper that is really a memory of her and her grandkids. And I thought that was just a way to give more without spending a whole lot of money. It reminded me, one year my kids got me a same kind of a thing, a mason jar, but it was filled with chores, right? So I could pick one out and it'd say, I'll mow the lawn or I'll do the dishes or whatever. In fact, you know what? I don't even think I took anything out of that jar. I think it was just so special to me. I thought, I'm just going to leave it here. I still made them do those things, like they still did the chores, but I have the papers there that are in there. And so, again, these are just little small creative ways, to spend less but give more.
Yeah. One of the things that my family has done, we actually started this tradition right after my husband and I got married. We've got my brother's family and myself and my husband and then my parents. And so every year for Christmas, my sister-in-law, she gathers photos, usually now just digital photos, and she makes us a family calendar. And so it's not just a family calendar that she just picks a couple and turns it in, but it's a calendar that has all of our birth dates, all of our anniversaries, all of the important dates. And then she takes pictures from every month of the last year of all the different things that we did together as a family. And we all live in different places, and so we're often together about once a month, every 6 weeks. During COVID, we've been together once every 3 months. But every time we're together, we take pictures, and then we gather those together. And so I know that come Christmas time, I'm going to get a calendar, but as we go through the year and as I look at each month, it's a reminder to me of just all the great things that we got to do as a family. And that's not something that happens, it takes her a while. She really spends time and energy, but it's such a gift. And for my parents to get to see the kids, as they're growing up in the calendar. And then one thing that we've always done is that we send it to my grandpa, so the kid's great grandpa gets a copy of it so that he can kind of see and keep up on everything that's going on.
That's awesome. You were talking about, about how to give relationally, what that looks like. And, I shared about, knowing the person, knowing the individual, what makes your relationship special, and giving a gift in that, with that mindset. I have it in my office. I was supposed to bring it out here and I forgot. But in my office, I have a, let me share the story first, and then I'll share what I have. So when I was at the church in Moses Lake, Washington, right behind the stage, like we're on now, right behind the stage was a back hallway, and we kind of made that our little green room. We would, put all of our, wallets and stuff back there, and cups of coffee. And on the back wall, there was a huge oak clock, which was never, ever right. It was always broken. And so every week I'd put a new battery in it, try to get this thing working. And sure enough, on Sunday, it was the wrong time. And it was just always like that. So over the years that I was there, every week I would take this clock, I would throw it in the trash. And then somebody from the worship team would pick the clock back up and hang it back up on the wall. And so this kind of went on as a joke for a long time. And then right before I had left that church, somebody had given me a Star Wars clock. It has stormtroopers and Kylo Ren on it. And I thought, this is going to be a great replacement for that clock. It's a new clock. It's going to work. And so I put that Star Wars clock back there, and I actually took that old clock and I actually finally threw it in the dumpster so they wouldn't take it out. I found out later that clock was the first clock they ever hung in the church, which is why they kept taking it out of the trash. But I'm gone now, so it's all good. So anyway, so I left that church. We moved back here to Visalia, but that Star Wars clock remained. And that next following year on Christmas, I get a gift in the mail from Moses Lake, and I have no idea who it's from. Why did I get it's just a box. I opened it up, and every volunteer that I worked with at Moses Lake had signed that Star Wars clock and sent it back to me. And those are the things that I think that, again, when you put all of these things together of giving time, the time that it's spent for them to go around to all the volunteers and have them sign that clock, because we had a memory, it made it all that much more special. And so, and it didn't cost them anything but shipping, right? Because I'm the one that bought the clock, right? All they did was sign it. But man, every day I get to look at that clock in my office and just think about the relationships, right, of the names of the people that are on that clock. And so I think these are all the things that we mentioned, things that I hopefully help you get creative on, hey, how do I refocus during this time and really make, when I give more, really make it special and really make it meaningful and do it in a way that helps prepare my heart and remind me that it is really all about Christ and our relationship with Him. So.
That's cool.
So
one more story that I have of just a way that, like I said, relationships are important to me and connecting with people. And so I have a nephew and 3 nieces that the youngest is second grade now and the oldest is in high school. But as they were growing up, we had the opportunity to live here and be near them. And so one of the things that we do as a family is we always do stockings. And so it's easy to find, soap or socks or, whatever your typical flashlights, kind of traditional stocking stuff are. Put those in their stockings. But one of the things that I have done is that I will always get the kids a $5 gift card for Starbucks. And so I always put that in there, and then I put a little note on it that we're going to go on a Starbucks date. And so this started even when they were, back in preschool. And so on Friday when I was off, we would, they'd bring their Starbucks card and I'd pick them up and we'd go spend the morning. We'd go to Starbucks and they'd get their hot cocoa and their treats and, we'd hang out and then we'd go walk around Target and, do all those kinds of things, smell the candles, all that kind of fun stuff, look at the toys. But that was our chance to really just spend some time together. And so each of the kids, when they got that Starbucks card, they knew that that's what that meant. It wasn't just, oh, I'm going to go get, a treat at Starbucks, but Auntie Jim was going to pick me up and we were going to go spend the morning together and get to be together. Awesome. And so, that's been important. And even now, once they're in high school, that's something that we still do.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool story. It's being meaningful, right? Being purposeful with how we spend our time and making that time important. Yeah. And so that's awesome. And so we've looked at worshiping fully. We looked at spending less. We looked at giving more. Next week, we're going to be looking at love. And so I'm excited for that. And so, it is always a joy each and every week to gather together and be invited into your homes on every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. And so I look forward to this time. I can't believe we've been doing these things now for quite a long time. And each one has been special. Each one, I think, has had purpose behind it. And so, so again, so much of what we do here at Gateway is invite, connect, develop, and serve. And so I think we've kind of talked about all those things today. Yeah. And so that's been great. And so, hey, we want to let you know, again, we are meeting here on campus every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. We're also meeting online. And so we have our 8:30 choir and orchestra service. We have our children's church at 9:45. And so, and then we have our praise band at 10:30. Online, and so you're able to do that through social media, Facebook, YouTube, the website, all these things. And so really want to encourage you to stay connected. We also have something special on Christmas Eve. We're going to have an outdoor special candlelight service, be about 30-40 minutes. We're going to get together. We're going to physically distance, but we're going to get together and just celebrate, Christ, the newborn King. And so want to encourage you that will also be streamed live online. So again, whether you join us online or on site, we want to connect. And so, and I say it every time I get a chance to, we're going to keep connecting because that is what we do. And so if you have any questions, if you have any needs that you need met, again, if you have heard about these boxes for kids and you want to get connected to that, or maybe you know a family that would be great for, let us know. We want to make sure we reach out to those who are in need or want to stay connected. And so, again, Jen, thank you so much for agreeing to do this and to be a part of this. Again, thank you so much for inviting us into your home. And so we will see you again and we will connect with you again because that is what we do. And so I'm Pastor Jason. Have a blessed week. Merry Christmas, and we will see you soon. That I can guarantee. God bless.